How to find and wholesale the top niche lists in 2024. What is up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, I want to show you the top niche lists you need to be wholesaling right now in 2024 to have wholesaling real estate success. I'm going to break down the top niche lists that are giving me the best results and what my students have, and the best results from the hundreds of thousands of people that subscribe, watch the podcast, and really follow me. The truth is, I've had a lot of success with the niche lists, but it's not just that that's the truth. It's the hundreds of thousands of other wholesalers that follow me on this YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Instagram, that actually implement these niche lists that's actually getting them wholesaling real estate success. So what we're gonna do is dive in on the top niche lists, exactly how you can pull them so you can actually start doing wholesaling real estate deals. So to bring it from the top, let's start with the first one, probates. Yes, probates is a niche list. It's a free government list, and I've said government list forever, but we're starting off with a really easy and simple one that you've probably heard me say a million times, that heck, if you've heard me say it so many times, you should probably still be doing it right now, and you're probably not. These are probates. This is basically a list of probate court cases in your clerk of the court. These are cases that where somebody passes away and the court needs to file to see who gets ownership of the property or the assets. Now, that's not the perfect legal definition of it, but really what you're doing is reaching out to heirs of properties of somebody that passed away. They're filing a probate. They're either going to petition for it or they're just trying to get ownership for it, and they're actually filing the probate so they can get the actual property. Now, the truth is, these are really good wholesaling deals. These are deals where you can make 60, 70, 80, heck, $100,000 plus profit margins on. And heck, some of them are not that good. Maybe they're 5 or 10 grand. But the truth is, if you pull them, there's less likely other wholesalers are going after because it's a little more difficult to pull. That's the point of niche lists. These are lists that are niched out. They just can't go to a regular old service like listri.com, aka PropStream, or smsact.com, aka Batch Leads, and just pull instantly really quick. This is going to require a little bit of work, a little bit more finesse, but with the amount of extra effort you put into pulling a list like the probates, the better chance you actually can get a deal and you get a better return on your time. So if you spend 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to pull this list, then you cold call for another 2 hours, maybe a full 10 hours, and you get a deal from that. If you want to do a regular PropStream or Batch Leads list, it might take you 30 or 40 hours of marketing just to get it. That's the point of niche lists. Yeah, you're spending more time pulling this type of list, but when it comes to actually calling that list or texting it or doing any direct mail, there's a better bang for your buck because you're spending a lot less time on the phones or texting to actually get this information. And the cool part about me when I'm scaling up my operations, I actually scale this up really well, where I can have VAs actually pull this information for me too. So if you want to pull the probates, just go to the Clerk of the Court website in your local county or city and find all the court cases, pull that information, organize it, skip trace it, then call or text them. You can also do this type of tactic by looking at the court dockets or a schedule of all the court cases being done, sort by probates, if you can download by a CSV format and go from there. The newest ChatGPT that just came out, you have to use the paid version, unfortunately, for, but the one that I love doing, you can actually upload PDFs into it and organize that type of data. So if you're getting PDFs of court dockets or of probate cases, you can now with ChatGPT actually upload those into it. It can organize the data really well. So that's just another thing you can use AI for, or any of the niche lists that I talk about today. Next, here's the water shutoff list. Guys, I've said this forever, but if the water's not running on the property, it's probably ugly, there's an issue, and the house is just rotten there, and you want to reach out to these sellers and actually see if they're looking to sell their property. Now, this is no secret here. This is a notoriously difficult list to obtain. This is a very, very difficult list to get compared to a probate or a code violation, but I'm telling you, the riches are in the niches. Because it's so hard, there's not going to be a lot of wholesalers actually reaching out to these type of lists. So this is something you should really consider doing right now. All you have to do to get a list like this is go to your local utility department and ask for a list of all the houses that have the water shut off due to non-payment, and you should get that information pretty easy. Next, here's something that's more niched than a regular niche list, but this is drawing for dollars for not just houses, but for mobile or manufactured homes. And what do I mean by this? Get in your car and drive around and find ugly properties that are mobile homes or manufactured homes. If you're living in an area that has a lot of mobile home or manufactured homes, make sure first you can find some buyers for it. But there is actually a ton of buyers right now wanting to buy cheap real estate, mobile homes and manufactured, and actually rent them out for big bucks. Here in Florida, you can even do in Georgia, Tennessee, and really the southeast of the United States. A lot of these mobile homes with the land owned underneath it, let me preface that. Let me say that one more time. The land has to be owned underneath it, are going for nice premiums, and you can still make a good amount, 10, 15 grand on these assignment fees that most wholesalers, when they're driving drying for dollars, they're not looking for those areas. They do not care at all. They don't even want to deal with it. But what you can do specifically here is drive for dollars where there's mobile homes and manufactured houses and start getting those leads that most wholesalers just run away from. On top of that too, another good niche list here is just going to be drying for dollars. Remember, most people are not going to drive for dollars. So if you're even worried about those people, do the driving for dollars for the mobile homes and manufactured homes. But drying for dollars in general is always a great one. And then adding reverse drying for dollars for it is always just going to be that extra boost. Remember, if you want to learn how to drive for dollars, reverse drive for dollars, or talk about any of the niche lists that I talk about today, just make sure you go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, where I break it down step by step. Next here are stacked lists. So when you're looking to get into wholesaling real estate, maybe you're doing some bigger marketing, maybe you're doing some big SMS text blasting or cold calling on a large scale. Sometimes you run out of government lists, and that makes complete sense. What you should be doing is pulling some paid lists from PropStream Batch Leads. Remember, if you want to get a free trial to PropStream, just go to listrei.com, or if you want to get a free trial to Batch Leads and get 50% off your first month, just go to zacdata.com. Now, they're both amazing, and they're both pretty much equal in my eyes. Some have some pros and cons to each one, but I'll tell you, choosing any of them are going to be really well for you. What we can do is actually go deeper and actually get niche lists from these paid softwares. Now, everyone and their mom signs up for zacdata.com or listrei.com and just click the regular high equity, and they try to market to it, and the results frankly suck. What you should be doing is find stacked lists inside of these paid softwares and actually get some niche lists inside of there that really no other wholesaler pulling that software in your market is doing. So an example of this is just adding a lien with a foreclosure, maybe just a stacked list, a list of pre-foreclosures and a list of liens, and see which ones of these stack up, which ones are duplicates. And the cool part about zacdata.com and listrei.com is you can do it with a simple click of the button. We also teach you how to do this inside of freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, and you're going to be able to get stacked lists and really good wholesaling results. On top of that too, you don't even have to use paid lists. You can do pre-foreclosures with probates combined together, maybe a paid list with a government list, see which ones add up. Heck, if you add all the niche lists we say to do today and put them in a master sheet and see which ones of these are duplicates, those are ones you should do with a big priority because they're stacked and they repeat multiple times on lists. You're gonna find these unicorn type properties, which you should probably hit in with a call, a text, and probably a reverse drawing for $1 sticky note, just so you can hit the trifecta there and actually get some wholesaling real estate results now. One of my personal favorite niche lists, I don't really call it a personal niche list, it's just going into listrei.com or zacdata.com and pulling a big direct mail campaign, but doing it in a niche way. So for example, if I do all the Salt Lake City direct mail, it's gonna be tens of thousands or heck, hundreds of thousands of direct mail pieces to put out, but the chance of me getting a deal, my ROI, is not gonna be as good if I just niched it out. I can get rid of all the bad quote deals in wholesaling by doing this. So what I'm gonna do is pull all the high equities. I'm gonna niche it out even more and make sure that everyone in that high equity, I would say about 55, 60% equity, make sure they actually don't owe too much on the property. So if the property's worth about 100,000, we don't owe any more than 40 or 45 grand. We're gonna add some more niche filters on here. One extra filter I like doing on here is making sure the person owns the property for at least 3+ years. The more ownership they have, the better for you getting a good wholesaling deal. Frankly, what I found is my good wholesaling deals, the person's owned it for at least 4, 5, 6+ years before they sell it, and it becomes a good wholesale deal for us. So that's why we put at least a minimum 3-year ownership on these type of deals. So it helps us on top of that too. Now we're gonna add some more niche factors on this. We're gonna make sure the property is under the median home price. And then on top of that too, we're gonna make sure that person owns less than 4 houses. If you have an owner on a property or deal and they own 7 or 8 deals, if they own 7 or 8 other properties, they're probably a good businessman when it comes to real estate investing, and they're frankly not going to be good wholesaling deals or good motivated sellers. They usually go straight to the MLS. So if you can add those type of niche lists in zacdata.com and listrei.com, you're going to find great wholesaling success. Heck, there's just so many niche lists out there. There's the IRS lien list or the credit card debt lien list, people behind on their IRS tax payments or their state revenue tax payments, people behind on their credit cards. You can just go to the liens or the list pending section and actually find that. Notice of defaults. You can do the code violations, people that have tall grass, and code enforcement's actually finding them every single day. I love the structural damage part in code violations. But you just go to your local code enforcement department to get this type of a list. It's an amazing list to be going after. The fire damage property list, which is a list of people that actually have their house caught on fire, and the fire department goes, there's damage to the house. You can actually wholesale these fine. There's insurance checks involved for some of these too. You go to your local fire department and just get a list of all the houses that went on fire for the past month and just cold call those type of lists, or SMS text blast for them. You got the arrest record list, which is people that get arrested. See if the people that got arrested actually own property. Then call those people up and see if they want to sell their house. Frankly, the truth is most people aren't willing to pull niche lists like this. They're not willing to pull the arrest record list. They're not willing to pull the fire damage property list because they don't know how to pull it. If you go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, I teach you how to do it step by step. But also in this video, I'm showing you how to do it. The arrest record list, you go to your sheriff's department, just ask for a list of all the arrests for the past 30 days. Then you got cross-reference that information to see, okay, I see a Nigel Smith got arrested in Tampa. See if that Nigel Smith, who has their property address on the CSV, actually owns property on the property appraiser. We're good to go. Do the same thing with the fire damage property and so forth and so forth. The truth is in this video, I'm just trying to get you excited about niche lists, excited to actually start pulling these lists so you can get wholesaling results. Freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, I show you how to do it step by step even more. But honestly, if you get really good at learning the clerk of the court, talking to these government agencies and asking for these type of lists, you'll start getting them, learn how to skip trace them, and you'll do well. My personal preference for skip tracing right now is ZachData.com for paid. But if you use any free skip tracing, I recommend TruePeopleSearch.com or CyberBackgroundChecks.com. Guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. This is Zach signing out. Have a blessed one.